guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video because I actually remembered to film my TBR before the month starts. So I actually have time to edit this. I'm excited, I'm extra excited because I just created a new TBR jar. So I'm actually gonna insert some footage here showing, I guess, my process. I just bought this jar and some index cards, and I got the multicolored ones so I can have them be in different genres. I folded them up, put them in a jar so that I can have a lot of flexibility with my TBR. Actually, okay, let me start from the beginning. The reason why I wanted to do a TBR jar is, for one, I do actually have a lot of problems deciding what I want to read next, and sometimes I feel like that puts me in a reading slump. And I don't want to do that because I really want to stick to my reading goal and actually try and reach it this year. You may know I didn't reach it last year. I had a goal of reading 100 books, which is about 8 to 9 books a month. And unfortunately, I didn't reach that. But this year, I am super determined. I know it's only February, but so far I've been pretty on track, even though February's been a short month. So for March, I definitely want to try reaching 9 books. And I feel like having a TBR kind of already set will definitely help me reach that. And on top of that, this TBR jar is actually very flexible. For one thing, because it's color coordinated based on genre, I can kind of still do my usual mood reading where I'll read what I feel like it, whether that be green for horror thriller, blue for fantasy sci-fi, pink for contemporary romance, or yellow for everything else. So I guess you can kind of tell what my main genres are based on everything that's on my shelf. But at least this way, I can kind of get everything that I like and some extra things if I'm feeling more adventurous. So besides the jar, if you watched my bookshelf tour, you would know that these two shelves are basically all of my unread books. The top part is mostly my fantasy, sci-fi, fantasy romance. And then the bottom, this area here is my mystery thrillers. I'm doing a pretty good job staying on top of my mystery thrillers, horrors. So this section's a little small. This little section here is just some books I got from the library. These are the only 2 that I haven't touched yet. And then these over here are my contemporary, romance, nonfiction, everything else basically. So besides these, I also have some audiobooks and ebooks that I have saved on Scribd that I can also reach for. I definitely know I need to have at least 4 audiobooks, hopefully. If not for one of these, then a completely different book. And I have about 4 books coming in also. With that said, let's get into choosing my TBR. I have a couple books that I've sort of already started, and I know I'm not going to finish in February, so I'm going to try and fit those into my prompts. Everything else will probably be new stuff or something that I have coming in. Let's see, why don't we start with, let's start with the usual. Let's start with fantasy sci-fi. So that would mean a blue. All right. So my first card is my husband chooses my book from my TBR shelf. So my husband's currently working right now, so I'll probably film him choosing a book from my fantasy shelf a little later. I'll just insert it right here. I'm excited to see what he picks. All right, that's 1. So I chose this card, husband chooses my book from my TBR shelf. And because it's blue, it means you have to choose a science fiction or fantasy book. So anything, pick any book from here that I need to read this month.
The Ninth Ring.
That's your choice?
Yeah.
Why? Why'd you choose that?
It looks interesting.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Now let's choose a mystery thriller. So that would be green. Yay, okay. This next one that I chose is a 5-star prediction. Okay, so that's a really good one because that means that's one I'm like really excited about and I have a good feeling about. And as a thriller or, okay, so this is either a thriller, horror, or mystery. And actually, I have a perfect book that I've already started. So Good Girl Bad Blood, I actually am only like 18 pages into this one, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna finish this in March. And this is actually the second book in a Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy series, whatever, by Holly Jackson. And I actually gave the first book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, 5 stars. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure, or not I'm pretty sure, but I'm hoping that I'll also give this one a 5 star. So chances are good, basically. So, all right, that's the second book. All right, might as well just do one of each first. Let's do a pink one. This next one is an ugly cover. So one of these books, romance, contemporary, hard-hitting contemporary with an ugly cover. The problem is I don't think any of these are ugly. Let me see if I have anything on Scribd. Yikes. Okay, I've got it. I'll put the cover up here, but I actually have, I have it from the library, one sec. So the audiobook / library book that I chose for my ugly cover prompt is The Selection by Kira Cass. So I got this from the library, and I also have it on audio, and actually, I'm not really feeling the audiobook either. I've only listened to about 20% of it, but yeah, I'm not feeling this cover. I mean, that is a really ugly dress, and it's all one color, and it's really giving like 2000s style YA. So this will be my selection for an ugly cover read. All right, let's choose the next one. Did I mention, was I gonna choose 9? Yeah, I think I said I was gonna choose 9. So let's pick a yellow one now. So yellow is basically anything. All right, so this says, same number of letters as my name. Okay, so Kiana has 6 letters. So let's see if I have anything here that has 6 letters. Okay, that's not good. I don't have anything on my shelf. Let's check Scribd again. Okay, so far I've only been able to find one, and this was a recent book that I put on my TBR. So I actually don't have a physical copy of it. It's called No Exit by Taylor Adams. So this was recently recommended specifically to me by Jamie's Library. Jamie from Jamie's Library recommended this to me in her recent video about specific recommendations from comments. And on top of that, I only have this book as an ebook. So I guess I'm gonna have an ebook read this month. I have no idea what it's about. Oh, I just realized I haven't been saying what any of these books are about. Let me just do that real quick. So Good Girl Bad Blood, I can't really talk too much about it since the second book, but I'll talk about what the first book was about. So the main character, Pippa, chooses a class project to try and solve what she thinks was a murder that was, how do I say it? So there's a murder in her town, and Pippa uses her senior class project as a way to investigate the crime again. So a few years ago, one of the girls in her town was killed by her boyfriend, supposedly. So Pippa doesn't believe this, and she embarks on this investigation to find out who the real killer is. So this is the second book following Pippa. The selection, what is the selection about? So it says, for 35 girls, a selection is the chance of a lifetime. The opportunity to be swept up in a world of glittering gowns and priceless jewels, to live in a palace and compete for the heart of gorgeous Prince Maxon. But for America Singer, being selected is a nightmare. It means turning her back on her secret love of Aspen, who has a caste below her, and leaving her home to enter a fierce competition for a crown she doesn't want. Then America meets Prince Maxon. Gradually, she begins to realize that the life she's always dreamed of may not compare to a future she never imagined. So that's what that's about. The next book, what was that? Oh, my husband's pick. I will insert a clip there because I have no idea what he chose yet. And then No Exit is... So No Exit is a thriller about a woman who is on her way to visit her mother when she's caught in a blizzard and ends up stuck at a highway rest stop. Now, she's stuck there with 4 other people, and everything seems fine until she discovers a child locked up in the car right next to hers. So she doesn't know which one of the strangers this car belongs to, and she needs to figure out how to get this child out of the car and how to escape this highway rest stop in the middle of a blizzard with a child. So that seems like a really good one. I'm not really one to like enjoy reading ebooks, but hopefully this book will be compelling enough to keep me interested and finish this ebook. All right, so my next book is, oh crap, okay. It says, on my shelf for over a year. Oh, that's great. I know there's a lot of fantasy and sci-fi books on my shelf that have been here for over a year. Let's see. You know what? Since I don't know what my husband's gonna choose, I decided to choose an easy one. So I chose a middle grade, just young adult or middle grade, one of the two. Peter and the Secret of Randoon. So this is the third book in the Peter and the Starcatcher series. And I have the next two books here and I just haven't continued. So maybe this will be the push I need to continue this. So this book is a retelling of Peter Pan, and I'm not really sure what else to say. It's a Peter Pan retelling and I enjoyed it when I was younger, so hopefully I'll enjoy it in this reread. I don't remember anything that happened in this, so it should be a good one. All right, next book. Okay, another mystery thriller. This next book features a badass main character. So for this prompt featuring a badass main character, I think, okay, so I ordered Finley Donovan is Killing It, and I'm hoping she's a badass main character. Kind of sounds like it from the title, but that hasn't arrived yet. So I'm gonna hope for that one. If that one doesn't come in time, then the only other option I have, oh wait, I didn't even check Scribd. Oh, perfect. Okay, so if Finley Donovan doesn't come in on time, then I'm going to read Appetite for Innocence. So that audiobook, it's Appetite for Innocence by Lucinda Berry. The audiobook currently isn't available to me yet, but it will be on March 20th. So I'm actually been really excited to listen to this one. I've previously loved a lot of Lucinda Berry's books, so I'm hoping this is just going to be another one. So this is about, so a serial rapist is kidnapping teenage girls, but he's not interested in just any teenage girls, only virgins. So anyway, Ella sounds like a badass main character, so that is the one I'm going to go with if Finley Donovan doesn't come in, or I might just go for Appetite for Innocence, honestly. We'll see how the month turns out. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do 3 more. So this one says a book with a face on the cover. Oh, got a perfect one for this. I've already started it. American Royals by Catherine McGee. So I'm only on page 11. So I'm still gonna count this as a March read, and you can see it has a face on the cover. So this is about what if America had a royal family? So I guess if George Washington had decided to become the new king instead of the president of the United States of America, and this follows his family generations after him as the new royal family of America. All right, so that was a fast one. Let's go to the next one. I think I want to read another fantasy sci-fi, so I'm gonna go for a blue one. All right, so this one says favorite color on the cover. Let's see, my favorite color is blue, so I'm gonna go with the blue one. I've got a few options here. Her So Dark and Lonely, The Guinevere Deception, Peter and the Sword of Mercy, but I'm already reading the third book, so I won't choose that. Smoke and Bone. Okay, perfect. So I have 2 choices here, and I guess it kind of depends on which book I finish this month for my audiobook. Book of Night by Holly Black. I actually have the library book for Book of Night, so I haven't really not that far into this. So this can be my second audiobook. So from what, honestly, I'm like probably 50 pages into this already, and I'm still kind of confused about what it's going to be about. Like the plot hasn't really started. We're basically following Charlie, who used to be a thief in this, I guess it's low fantasy because it's basically our world with magic in it, magic involving shadows. And Charlie grew up in a life of crime, stealing things to make her way in the world for her and her sister, until tragedy strikes her and she decides to quit that world and instead has been jumping around from job to job as a bartender until a mysterious figure from her past comes back. I guess she steals something that is too big for her to handle. I think this is gonna be my third audiobook. So I've got The Selection, I've got Appetite for Innocence, and Book of Night. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is my last one, and it will probably also be an audiobook, hopefully. Let's go with yellow, so it can be kind of anything. Oh my gosh, okay. Book that I've had on my TBR the longest. An audiobook that I've had on my TBR the longest, and that looks like it's going to be The Arithmetist by Brandon Sanderson. So more than anything, Joel wants to be a arithmetist chosen by the master in a mysterious inception ceremony. Arithmetists have the power to infuse life into two-dimensional figures known as chalklings. Arithmetists are humanity's only defense against the wild chalklings. Okay, not getting much from that. I guess we'll see how it goes. Honestly, if that doesn't work out and Starsight comes in, then I'm probably going to read that. I mean, it's also a Brandon Sanderson book, and okay, it doesn't really fit the prompt, but I mean, I'm giving myself some wiggle room because I definitely don't want to fall into a reading slump over this TBR. With that said, this is going to be, oh, whoa, don't fall. Besides the book that my husband has yet to pick, this looks like it's going to be my TBR for the month, except for, you know, the audiobooks and ebooks that I plan to read. So hopefully this goes well and I actually get through it and I reach my reading goal for the month. That's about it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.